gonna need is the ace of spades, the ace of spades.
Will these OU matches never end? Anyways, hello YouTube. Spade here, and here's a battle for my 1k tourney. Round 1, and this is against GingerOverload. He was the first one to enter my tourneys, so he got paired with me. And this is probably the most standard OU match I have ever played. You will see. So let's begin. He leads off with a Houndoom, I lead off with Swampert, and I fear the possible hidden power grass, so I switch into my Mens, and I get the Intimidate, and he goes for Taunt, which is the safe play on his part, and now he goes for Dark Pulse. I know I can live one, and he ends up getting a crit, but I still live, and I go for Dragon Breed, and I make up for the crit, and I get the Para Hacks, which is funny. So I just finish off the Houndoom with another Dragon Breed. So yeah, the Houndoom goes down, and now he's going to go into his Dusknoir, and I fear the Shadow Sneak, and I'm a spec, so I switch into my Skarmory to take it. And Skarmory was Dusknoir to hell anyways, so I am free to set up my spikes here. And he goes for Will-O-Wisp. It doesn't matter, cause my only attack is the Brave Bird, so yeah. And he switches it now into his Fortress as I go for spikes, and I really don't want to deal with this Fortress right now. I don't want it to set up its own entry hazard, cause I don't have a Rapid Spinner on this team. But anyways, he goes for Rapid Spin, I go for Whirlwind, and in comes the Dusknoir again. And I think I'm just going to set up again. And he goes into his Fortress again. I set up a layer of spikes, and now I'm going to predict another Rapid Spin. So I switch into my Spin Blocker, who is my Gengar. And he does go for the Rapid Spin, so that's awesome. I go for Trick, which is an awesome play, because he goes for Gyro Ball here. And since I gave him my Choice Scarf, the Gyro Ball won't be that powerful, because now I'm slower and he's faster, so that's awesome for me. And now that he's locked into Gyro Ball, I am free to switch into my Swampert, and after the lefties, the Gyro Ball does absolutely nothing. So I'm free to set up my Stealth Rocks on the switch as he switches into his Staraptor. And he goes for U-turn, so I'm thinking this is Choice Bandit. And he switches straight back into Fortress, and I go for Ice Punch, and I end up getting the Freeze Hacks, which is hilarious, cause the Fortress was already pretty useless cause it was Choice Scarf. But now he won't be able to Rapid Spin or set up Stealth Rocks or anything. And I roar him into Dusknoir once again. And I'm going to predict another Will-O-Wisp. So I switch into my Skarmory, which is already burned. And that works. And I am free to set up once again. And he's going to switch now, goes into Fortress again, and I set up another layer of spikes, which is good for me. And the Fortress is still frozen as I go for Whirlwind. And in comes the Dusknoir once again. It gets hurt by the entry hazard, which is nice for me. And I know he's going to switch again, so I'm going to predict the switch, and I go for Roost to get my HP back, I think. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty good for me. I'm back to green health. And Fortress is still frozen, I think. And I just go for Whirlwind here, so the next time it comes in it will die to the entry hazard, which is nice for me. And he goes into this Staraptor, and I know it's choiced, most likely Bandit, and he's gonna predict my Whirlwind here, so I'm going to switch into my Gengar to take the close combat, and that works perfectly. And now he switches into his Flygon, and I just go for the Focus Blast on the switch, and it hurts the Flygon pretty nicely. And I'm thinking this guy is choice scoffed, so the Staraptor is most likely banded now. And I switch into my Skarmory to take the physical attack. He goes for Stone Edge, gets a crit, still doesn't matter. And he goes for another Stone Edge, and I go for Roost. And I get my HP back, which is nice. And now he's going to switch out, and he death foddered his Fortress, which is a good play on his part, cause I went for the Whirlwind. I should have gone for Roost, but whatever, it didn't matter. Cause now he goes into his Staraptor, and this time I'm going to predict the Brave Bird, so I stay in. And that's exactly what he does, so that's awesome. He gets the recoil damage, and I go for Roost, so that's awesome for me. And now he knows that I'm just going to Whirlwind him, so he stays in and goes for Brave Bird. Gets the recoil damage, which is nice. It will most likely die the next turn it comes in to the Stealth Rocks. And in comes the Dusknoir. This is the 4th time. And it gets hurt by the entry hazards, which is nice for me. And he's going to switch once again. Lots of switching and Whirlwind going on here, but I just go for Whirlwind. So I drag out his last guy, which is which I haven't seen, which is Lucario. And I'm going to predict the Crunch, and I stay in, and that works. And I go for Roost once again. So I am back to green health once again, and I should be able to take one close combat, so I stay in. But he gets a crit, but yeah, whatever. Skarmory has done its job, so whatever. I go into Men's now to get to Intimidate, and I'm going to scout if he has the extreme speed, so I switch into my Gengar, and that's awesome for me. And now I'm going to predict the switch into Dusknoir, so I go for Shadow Ball here, and now he won't be able to sneak up on me with the Shadow Sneak. So down goes the Dusknoir, which is awesome for me. And my Gengar gets lefties, he goes into Flygon, which is the only thing that can outspeed my Gengar, so I switch into my Swampert, he goes for Outrage. And since this is my physical wall, I take the Outrage quite nicely, and it looks to be a 3-hit KO. He's locked into Outrage once again, so he goes for it, and I go for Ice Punch just to KO it. And now my Gengar will outspeed his whole team, so that's pretty good for me. And he goes into Staraptor, and he doesn't quite die to the Stealth Rocks, so he's going to finish me off with the Brave Bird. At this point I can easily use the Swampert as a death fodder, and thanks to the recall the Staraptor goes down, so it's a double knockout. And he's down to his last guy, which is a Lucario, and I just go into Men's and get to Intimidate, and I'm just going to finish him off with the Flamethrower. He could have gone for extreme speed, but at this point it didn't really matter. So yeah, good game GingerOverload, check out his channel cause he's British and he narrates. Anyways, I'm off to round 2 in my tourney, and hopefully all you people who are in my tourney as well will get your matches done in time, even though it's highly unlikely. But there's still time and hope. Anyways, epic predictions for the win, and Spade is out. Peace.